So Cracker Barrel admits defeat after during the hilarious backfire that they did not see coming, and customers are actually making sure that the company hears them loud and clear by simply boycotting them. Now, as you all know, Cracker Barrel did make changes before that upset a lot of people, and it's showing in their numbers. You see, Cracker Barrel actually rolled out a new logo before, remodeled stores, and tried to go ahead and chase a younger audience that didn't care about it. But longtime customers didn't take it well. You see, Cracker Barrel has seen sales drop, investors frustrated, and backlash growing online. And now Cracker Barrel is stuck dealing with the fallout from a decision that alienated its most loyal base. But at this point, I mean, simply put, it's just no wonder why Cracker Barrel simply admits defeat during this hilarious backfire that they didn't even see coming. So yeah, starting August 19th, the day after the logo went public, the numbers started collapsing. Debit and credit card data confirmed that. You see, the traffic slowed immediately. Now, this is coming in from New York Post, and this wasn't just a minor dip. And Cracker Barrel restaurants across the country saw a sharp decline that kept getting worse through August 26th. And this wasn't about the economy or random market shifts. Now, other full service restaurants weren't even, showing the same pattern. The clear takeaway here is that Cracker Barrel simply triggered its own downturn by alienating its base. Now, honestly, the logo itself just became the symbol of a much bigger issue where it wasn't just, about swapping out an illustration. You see, they stripped away Uncle Herschel, a piece of imagery that connected generations to the company's southern roots and small town charm. So to many customers, this wasn't an update. It was just simply a rejection of the values they associated with Cracker Barrel, okay? And the rebrand didn't feel authentic, and people just called it out. Now, when you build decades on goodwill, on tradition, you can't suddenly flip the script without consequences. And the worst part about it, they try to go ahead and appeal to the people who are a part of the urban cities and stuff, rather than sticking with those who've been with them since the giddy up in the rural areas. All right. But yeah, by August 25th, which was last month, Cracker Barrel's leadership simply realized that they had a disaster on their hands. That's when they rolled out, well, it wasn't even an apology, but one of the weakest corporate, statements imaginable. They backpedaled hard, trying to calm the storm, and then came the pressure from all sides. You see, customers demanded they reverse the decision, and the next day, Cracker Barrel caved. The chain ditched the rebrand, the logo, and restored the old logo. The damage, though, was already done. Now, once customers see you bending to trendy marketing tactics, trust becomes harder to rebuild, okay? And that's no surprise right there either, because the new logo wasn't the only change itself. Cracker Barrel had bigger plans that's tied to this so-called modernization. Now, as you all saw, they started remodeling restaurants, brighter lighting, sleek white walls, fewer things on display, and it was all designed to attract the Gen Z drive growth itself. The problem? Cracker Barrel didn't just fail to gain new customers, but they alienated the new ones that they already had. Now, the longtime diners, the people who made Cracker Barrel successful in the first place, saw their favorite spots stripped of the charm and character that defined them. Now, that disconnect hurt sales even more. Now, the financial impact itself actually became, impossible to ignore. You see, shares in Cracker Barrel dropped roughly 10%, okay, after the rebrand went live. Now, that's not a a temporary blip. That's investors simply losing confidence. And brand perception cratered, and data backed it up. Morning Consult reported that negative reviews of Cracker Barrel more than doubled in just a few more days, jumping from 10% to 25% almost overnight. And it takes years to build a reputation and only days to wreck it. Now, this logo mess became a case study in how to go ahead and burn customer goodwill fast. Now, inside the restaurants, the fallout was obvious. Employees reported, drastic slowdowns. A Cracker Barrel in Kennesaw, Georgia was, quote, dead for a week. Now, according to one worker whose name is Dwight, a manager at the Marietta location who has spent over 2 decades with the company, confirmed the same thing. Customers weren't just upset, they were walking away completely. Now, regulars who had shown up for years suddenly stopped coming. Now, for a restaurant chain built on loyalty, that's kind of devastating. And it didn't stop there either. You see, Cracker Barrel employees also had to deal with the backlash directly too. According to one server, people vented their frustrations online, and in some cases, employees even received threats on social media, or so that was reported. I mean, that's how deep the anger ran. Okay, now for many longtime customers, Cracker Barrel's rebrand felt personal. They felt the company turn its back on them, and they weren't shy about saying it. You see, the leadership simply just didn't make a branding mistake. You see, they created a cultural divide within their own customer base. All right. But what's even worse is that this wasn't some inevitable downturn tied to a broader market conditions. Other restaurants didn't see the same collapse during this particular stretch. You see, Cracker Barrel managed to create its own problem by ignoring its identity and customers. The decision to cater to a younger demographic might sound good in the boardroom, but execution matters. You see, you can't build decades of loyalty on comfort, nostalgia, and consistency, and then suddenly rip that away and expect customers to go ahead and clap for it. You see, Cracker Barrel executives tried to go ahead and justify the changes by pointing to shifting demographics. You see, Dwight and the Marietta manager even admitted that they were struggling to attract, younger diners. Now, a lot of their existing customer base is older, around 54 and up, and many cut back on the dining out after the pandemic. But instead of finding ways to balance tradition with subtle updates, well, the company simply overcorrected. Now, the quote modern approach looked forced, and Gen Z didn't exactly flood into replace the loyalists who left. They mistreated both markets. Now, the fake apology didn't land either. Cracker Barrel tried to frame the reversal as listening to customers, but everyone knew what really happened. You see, leadership panicked. They made a choice without understanding their base, got slammed for that, and simply scrambled to undo the damage. And while they brought back the old logo, that doesn't fix the deeper issue itself. You see, customers now know Cracker Barrel's leadership is simply willing to compromise its identity for trends, and rebuilding that trust will take more than just swapping logos. Now, honestly, the bigger lesson here is about brand loyalty. Cracker Barrel's entire reputation was simply built on nostalgia, consistency, and being a place where people could feel connected to something familiar. The old imagery, the cluttered walls, the southern charm and stuff, all of that actually mattered. And even the good food too. And by tearing it down to chase a younger audience, they alienated the very people who carried the business for decades. Okay, so that's not just bad marketing. That's simply put a betrayal of your core customers. And now the company is facing a big uphill battle. Sales have taken a hit, investors are watching closely, and employees are stuck on the front lines simply dealing with frustrated customers. Excuse me, I'm dealing with allergies right now. Cracker Barrel has to do more than backtrack. They need to prove they understand what went wrong. And simply put, that means respecting what made the brand successful in the first place and simply stopping these desperate reactionary pivots that only push people away. Now, honestly, the path forward is not complicated, but it requires humility. Cracker Barrel needs to double down on the identity that built its success, but not abandon it. And that doesn't mean refusing to evolve. It simply means making changes that are authentic and gradual, not corporate-driven stunts designed to pander. Their customers aren't asking for trendy logos and whitewashed walls. They want the Cracker Barrel that they've trusted for years, the one they feel connected to, and the one that actually has the good food returned. But in the end, this wasn't just, it wasn't about the logo. It just exposed a deeper disconnect between Cracker Barrel's leadership and the people who made them successful. You see, trust takes years to earn and seconds to lose. Now, if Cracker Barrel wants to recover, they simply need to listen to their base, not focus groups, not marketing firms, not consultants either. Just the customers spoke loud and clear. Ignore them again, and the damage next time won't be reversible. As a matter of fact, a number of the customers aren't going to return anyway. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Be sure to smash the like button if you enjoyed what was shared in the video. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell for future uploads, notifications, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, peace.